Hello my fellow exiles. Today I would like to talk about the range vortex of Berserkering, mana stacking, Hierophant. If you want to see how the build plays, there are showcases at the end of the video both with and without Headhunter. As for what the build is good for, I used it mainly as a clear speed build, though with some adjustments I believe it could be a good generalist. So now you may be asking how the build actually works. As I have already said, this build is a mana stacker. As the name implies, we stack mana to bolster both our defense and offense. Let's start with offense first. Our sorts of base damage are Mana Storm, which sacrifices our mana when we cast a spell, but gives us half of the sacrificed mana as base damage. That may sound clunky to use, but thanks to Ambush and Flame Dash we tend to trigger that bonus without too much clunk during normal gameplay. Our other and much smaller, but also unconditional source of added damage is Mind of the Council. It also provides us with more mana and shifts some lightning damage to mana, which in the setup I'm presenting today isn't too useful, but if you would instead use Dorianis prototype, it might be a nice survival ability boost. Our increased damage is mostly covered by our Tincture, Transfiguration of the Mind, and the Cluster Jewel we use. Another offense scaler of this build are critical hits. Our base critical hit chance is covered by Ambush, which applies to the whole duration of the Rage Vortex, while our increased chance is taken care of by power charges from Conviction of Power. The damage of these strikes is further amplified by our use of Maryland's Fallacy. Given that we are an attack build, our weapon is a pretty important piece of the puzzle. In our case, it's Paradoxica, which we use mainly for that double damage modifier. Also, some elemental penetration is always nice. Talking about penetration, we also ignore our enemy lightning resistance thanks to new Bridge Floor, the Bloodline Ascendancy. This should cover the basics of our offense, so let's get to defense. First, we shift significant portion of our damage taken to our mana with Mind over Matter and Divine Guidance. Second, we gain 20 of our mana as energy shield through Sanctuary of Thought. Third, we have endurance charges from Conviction of Power. The endurance charges synergize well with our next defense layer, which is armor. We stack that through the use of Determination Aura and our armor pieces, which can have either armor or evasion, or even both of these, thanks to us using Iron Reflexings. You may be asking why are we doing that, and the main reason for me was that the Hybrid Evasion ES armor was more accessible at the time. Also, I just like armor more, and I think that this setup will probably have easier time transitioning into Dorianis prototype if you choose to do so. And for the last one, we use Fortify support, which allows us to gain Fortify when Rage Vortex hits enemies. An important part of the build I've forgotten about is that the build needs rage generation to upkeep the cyclone-like vortex around us. We solved that issue by using Akoya's Little Pride for Chainbreaker Keystone that converts our mana regen to rage regen. That also means that no region maps are completely off the table. With all that said, I want to thank you for your attention and apologize for the time it took to make this. But I'm pretty sure the next build will be here sooner while being a bit more obscure. As for now, I wish you good luck and hopefully we shall talk again.